Where'd the freaking bottom go? Oh, there it is.
So I'm going to be back in just a minute, but we're going to talk about stupidity and how you shouldn't be shamed if you're stupid. You can't really hide that you're stupid when you're fucking stupid. Let's see. So you can't hide that you're fucking stupid when you're fucking stupid. And people who try to hide that they're stupid, it's kind of, it adds insult to injury, and people act stupid about you being stupid and acting like you're not stupid. So they end up building a barrier against you. And the reason why I know all of this is because I acted stupid and people built a barrier, and I was able to see that, and I basically saw their response to that. So I was able to see what people do because I tested it. So, now that we've got one person, hello, I'm going to talk about how people who are stupid try to hide the fact that they're fucking stupid. Okay? People who are not stupid, oftentimes they tell you that they're stupid and that they don't exactly know what they're talking about. But some people are not stupid and they know it, and they're basically like, well, I may or may not have the answer. And this is what I've observed. Somebody who can pass along information because they actually have information. Somebody who can brainstorm because they have a brain. What? No way. Good evening, people. I'll be right back. I'm gonna get milk. So we got some pump stories to talk about today. And it should be fun for some people. It should be a laugh for some people. It should be tragic for other people. So let me get on with the first craziest story. And that is Luna Bear. So somebody made another Luna Bear token. I've seen the name before. It's, you know, it's not, all these names are not like really that new. There's been these old school tokens. Everybody has bought them before and they still pump around, but then somebody makes a new rendition of it and basically a lot of people get screwed because they're like, oh, this is a new token, and they're new to the crypto space. So they don't understand that Luna Bear. You get it? It's like literally in the fucking name. And how stupid can you be after you see this thing go parabolic, straight line upwards, throw fucking $12,000 on it? This fucking dude threw $12,000 on it after it was sitting at 70,000. It goes up to 180,000. The market cap grew by not just 100%, but fucking 120 or 130%. How would it math that in? All right. And the fucking dude leaves it in there, and I see him in the chat. He's like, you know, top gold person, and I'm like, do these people even know crypto? I cashed my shit out. I went fucking 80% out. I left behind cause my shit went poof. If I had stayed in from the beginning, I would have had $10,000 fucking dollars if I had held. All right, but I didn't. Instead, I got a modest bag at the top. I fucking sold down, and I knew what was gonna happen, and the fucking thing just goes kaboom! It goes down from 220,000 down to 50 fucking thousand. Not a rug pull. It's all of that volume that came in at like 70,000 as a FOMO came back out, and it was expected to hit 50,000 again. Well, I called it, and fucking the thing falls down, and the guy's like, oh no, I just lost $8,000. What? The fuck? You had $8,000 to throw on Luna Bear? Oh no. So I'm like, I wish I had 150 of that. That's what's going through my head. I'm so fucking broke. I'm like, I wish I had 150 in that. But to see somebody that's so fucking rich, so fucking clueless, throw in $12,000 fucking dollars. I think he threw in $8,000, and the fucking thing kept going up a bit. And he was like, yeah, I'm on the train. And then the fucking thing dumps, dude. And he fucking lost. It was $8,000 from the top. So he's down to $2,500. Math that in or whatever. That's what he said. But, not to shame him too much, damn, dude. Fucking rich people, man. And, if they had only, helped somebody who fucking needed help, they wouldn't be losing $8,000 to fucking dark trolls. Jesus Christ, dude. Help a motherfucker out. Stop launching your money at stupid investments. The reason why I'm doing that is because I have to. Because I need to get into that position. You know what I mean? But if you already have thousands and thousands of dollars, all you need to do is hand somebody who's broke $1,000 fucking dollars, and he make some fucking money and pay your ass back. That's not hard. That's what the banks did. That's why the banks are fucking rich. That's why the Rothschilds are rich. They gave out money. They got a big reputation for being helpful, and that's why. Is everybody stupid? Has nobody done the fucking history, research? But it's insane to see how many fucking rich people just run around with their money throwing that shit, and they don't want to actually help anyone. What the fuck, dude? Dude lost $8,000 on Luna Bear! Durr! I just saw you're live, and it's been a long time, yeah. No, I didn't get a house, dude. I'm fucking broke, man. But here's the thing is that, so I'm just watching these pump chats, and I'm seeing fucking idiots. They don't know how to pump a coin. They're sitting there in the chat, just not saying anything as the thing's going up in the air. And I'm like, bro, cheer that shit on. I see, big holders in the fucking chat. And I'm like, what are these people doing? They don't know how to actually, meme coin. They're sitting here with thousands and thousands of dollars. They're like, yeah, I'm a trader. And then they ain't even saying shit. Dude, $8,000 on a fucking coin with it in the name.
You know, I give you another example. There was Thud Coin. I seen a dude make Thud Coin. And the fucking thing's going up and then, you know, it just piddles out. Everyone knew better because it was in the fucking name. But then, like, you know, I'm looking at it, I'm like, wow, people are actually buying this? And there were people actually buying this. And he never got to say Thud. He never got to say Thud. And it was hilarious because the dude was, like, disappointed. He was like, damn it, I didn't get to do that. Yeah, because not everybody's a fucking retard, you know? But, stupidity, right? Insane. The stupidity is, a motherfucker went and wasted $8,000 on a meme coin, and yet thought, hey, I'm not gonna help that dude that's struggling, that's fucking making $30 in a day doing DoorDash because his fucking back's destroyed and he could sit down on a seat, he just can't stand for an hour and a half straight, or else his back is fucked. You know, that dude's not going to help this person, me, but he's going to help, you know, the meme coin market and give his fucking money to trolls. That's insane, dude. How stupid are people that are fucking rich? How fucking retarded are you? And I saw your decisions. I saw your money trading. No wonder Jesus fucking exposed the money traders, because this is what people were fucking doing. They were just tossing their money around and then making bullshit hype about this, bullshit hype about that. Yeah, exactly. And then it pumps, and then they fucking dump. That's fucking bullshit, man. That's why Jesus exposed these fucks. I'm telling y'all, I see exactly what's going on now. Like, I have been paying attention, and I see. And that's why I got trolls trying to hit me. I got fucking people angry in the chats. I got people do not fucking like me. People who are rich do not like me. Why? Because I see what the fuck they're doing. How fucking selfish can you be? You're gonna go fucking dump your eight grand into a fucking meme coin, but then you're gonna tell me, oh, work harder. What a fucking retard. Insane. The reason why I'm out here in the fucking meme coin market is because I'm desperate. I can only make about 15 to 30 bucks in a day. Alright? That's why I'm playing with this shit. That's why I'm able to read the fucking charts, because I actually give a fuck about actually seeing the truth. You know, if you're not sitting there for hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours watching these charts, and then you watch that fucking chart before you saw that fucking token to buy in with a big pump, dude, don't pump it. Don't play with it until you have read the fucking chart, until you have seen the statistics. Don't be an idiot. You know, you gotta study that shit before you throw $8,000 on it. That's insane, dude. Why would you do that? I saw the motherfucker. He's like, "Oh, that's crazy." And I saw his emotion because he's typing. He's like, "That's crazy." I'm like, "Why would you do that?" Duh. And then you got, you know, other people trying to save his ass, trying to throw 1,000 in, and now the shit's at like 80,000. So it dropped down to 50,000. If you guys were following the story, it went up to, you know, the heights, came back down 50,000. Then now it's at like 88,000, and it has seen a couple of pumps back to 120. So we're almost reaching that range again. He's constantly asking. He's like, "Do I hold?" I'm like, dude. It all depends on the popularity. If we can get fucking eyeballs on it. It doesn't matter if, you know, somebody wants to sell out. Everybody wants to sell out. Every single coin is a rug pull. You have to imagine it as a rug pull. So if you're getting into a coin, expect to lose the money. Throw a fucking dollar at it. If you see the chart and you see who's involved with it and you're looking at all the details, that's when you go in. Maybe with a 5 spot. At a low market cap early. Don't get in late unless you're willing to lose it. Cash Cat, I got $2 on it. It's already dumped about what? 15%? No problem. Because what? I have $2 on it. You know what I mean? Like that's how you have to be. And sometimes you might see a 2x. Wow, okay, pull some profit out. That might happen in days. That's how you have to see the coin market. You cannot bank on a fucking pump. You cannot bank on a god candle. These things happen all of a sudden, and it takes hours and hours and hours, and sometimes even days for it to happen. I saw a coin. I had $4 sitting in a coin. I left it there for a month and a half. This was on Zora. Yeah, Zora. This was on Zora. I go to my Zora account one day, and I see $100 and something in my account. I'm like, nice. nice, my coins, things are a healthy market and stuff. And I'm looking through my wallet because it doesn't appear at the top. I have to look through and find out which coin it is. And I find out which coin. I'm like, bro, I put $5 in it like a month and a half ago. How the fuck did it just soar and I get a 20x out of that? That's how it works. It happens all of a sudden. It happens a month later, 2 months later. You got to be able to part with your money for an entire fucking year to be able to get into the meme market. It's not an easy market to get into. But I know how it works now. I've discovered it. I've studied it too long now. Zora, Base Network, I played with protocols before that, play to earn for years and years and years. I've been in this space for 8 years, and I started with play to earn, and now I'm looking at these charts and I'm fucking nailing these calls. I've been calling these calls. Dude, what is it? Yesterday, I was calling a token for 157,000, 160,000. Yeah, it was going to do that for a temporary amount of time. Time to pull out. If you got that fucking profit, time to pull out. That's how you have to be automatically. I can't be the one to tell you to pull out. I can tell you where the chart is likely to go. I cannot tell you absolutely where you should put your money. But if you want to take a risk and you hear me talking coins and charts, I've been really nailing these charts. Luna Bear it was feeling bearish for quite a long time, for the last, so many hours, and I did not say, hey, this is going to go to the moon. Why? Because I don't think it's going to go to the moon today. It might jump again a 3x over the next week or so, but that's just how coins work. There's a couple of coins that are like 2 years old and stuff, and they end up seeing pumps, and you can get lucky on those too. I mean, it's all about the timing. It's all about whether or not the eyeballs are over here, over there. If you're seeing a really popular coin, it's brand new, there's a bunch of people in it, well, pump the sentiment too. Be like, hell yeah, we're doing awesome. And even if you're not even fully in the coin and you just want to see it do well, just be positive. But don't be like these trolls and saying, oh man, this is going to 1 million, this is going to 1 billion. Don't be saying that kind of shit unless you have been paying attention to the chart and you're willing to say, hey, this is also not financial advice. You know what I mean? That's how I am in these chats. I've been making people money apparently, but I've also apparently, because people didn't understand the actual market, got people too confident and they ended up losing money. Don't be too confident. That's number one. You should have already known that. That's why we need adults in the fucking house when we're trading coins. We can't be having children around. That's why we need adults in the house so we can actually play hardball. That's just how it is. So it was just an interesting story with the whole Luna Bear situation. I've never done that. So what I did with Pumpcat definitely fell back down quite a bit. And I ended up losing, just that much. So Pumpcat was doing great. It was at 500k after 350k. 350k was a good support level for a while, and then it pumped up to 500k, a little bit of FOMO, a little bit of support, and then it spikes. It goes to 900,000. It dips back down to 770,000. I'm thinking, hey, that's a dip, and it looks like it's gonna spike again. Now I miscalculated because I didn't. I wasn't thinking about the rule is that there's 1, 2, and then the third dip means a fucking a pull back. And I didn't I wasn't thinking. I went FOMO and I threw fucking, I'm not going to say how much. And it went boop down and I lost 30%. 30%. And that's because I was watching the chart. If I had pulled out then, I would have lost only 30%. Instead, I held emotionally. So it wasn't based on logic why I held. It was my emotion. I was like, I want to believe in this coin. It's gonna go to the moon still. Again, and it was stupid, and that's what you don't want to do. Don't hold on to it emotionally, Ended up continuing to hold. I was 87% down. Ended up being 75% down. I got about a 10% back on that. And I said, well, it looks like this isn't going to be doing very much today. I had to stop pumping the Pumpcat, and that's fine. But I'm going to have to go and come back in a little bit, see what this thing's doing. And since then, it's literally just kind of stayed stagnant. You know, it didn't collapse. You know, not everybody pulled out every last, dime out of their fucking wallet. You know, you got to understand there's mature people in this space and people that actually want to see, a meme market actually pump and actually stay relevant. If you guys are into futures, if you guys are into Robinhood, apparently, Cash Cat is the one. For Solana, you want to jump onto Phantom, and, it's already on the front page. They're promoting Cash Cat, but Cash Cat is like basically the old name of what Robinhood was before before it was Robinhood. That was their original plan, and that's why Cash Cat is like viral. That was why it was a viral coin. That's why it went to 150 million. And I was like, Pump Cat, dude, hell yeah, that's gonna go to the moon, and it did. It went fucking almost a million market cap. So, but not only that, I was watching the chart and it looked healthy going up, and that's the other part of it that really stood out. So it's not just hype, it's also about what I was watching in the charts. If anybody was following that, I was watching the charts. I was like, all right, I see the dip and I see a staircase effect. It keeps going up and up and up. It eventually does that, You end up getting that kind of support. People don't want to see, people that are already in, they want to throw a little bit more on that dip. That's normal. And those people are actual support. Those people are actively watching the coin. You got those people and you got bot accounts. So the bots are different. They have different activities. They sell all of a sudden. When those massive dips come in and they sell, it looks violent. It's like, what the fuck just happened? Did that thing just run? No, it's a bot. And bots are everywhere now. Unless we ban bots, it's still going to be a problem. It's going to be a forever problem. So what people need to do is not trade emotionally, but trade with logic and not pay attention to that big spike down, because that big spike down may mean a spike upwards because another bot grabs that low. So be prepared for that. It may not be, when it comes down, it may not be this low. It may be the next low just below it that the bot buys into, and then it goes psh. So I capitalize on bot activity. I watch these bots, and I'm able to, with my fingertip, press buy, and I'm able to, without using a bot, make money. I did this on Pump Fun, clearly on a 7X. I looked at it, I made a call on the one coin. I made an official call on Pump Fun, not just in chats. Went 7X after I called it. Why? Because I was watching the activity. And now the coin's dead. 5 months later, the coin's dead. But at the time, it was going in for a pump. I called it. I cashed out. I took profit, and it was, pretty good. It did not dump immediately. The reason why was because I saw the kind of activity. I saw the specific time that passed. Where did it go, up or down? I was watching all that, and time has a lot to do with it. And I was like, this is going up. Like, it went up before, it spiked a bit. I see these bots battling over that title, and I knew it was going up. And you know what's funny? Years later, it might still go up again. I might even throw 50 cents into it just to see what it might do. It might, do a 7X, and then I get $3. But that's the whole thing, is that, rich people, you fuckers, you're so used to having so much money that you don't understand that $3 increase. That happens all the time. I'll leave behind my altcoins. And like I said earlier, there was a token that I had left in my Zora wallet, and I had spent $5 in it because it was like Mr. Beast Financial Services. You know what I mean? Like, if anybody's in the crypto space, that was a pretty popular one. That was a popular trend. And I went and I threw $4.50 or something. I think it was $4.50 exactly into this token. And it was like a month and a half later, fucking thing turns into $100. It went 20x. I was like, sweet, all right, payday, But that shit happens all the time with these altcoins. If you just hold them, you end up seeing like a revival. A massive revival too. Sometimes a god candle. Just like the one that I had seen. And there was trading activity. There was real trading activity at that point. It was a dead coin for a long time. And then it was just out of nowhere, there was trading activity on it. So this kind of stuff happens all the time. It's not like, oh, I'm gonna go throw my money in there and wait a whole fucking year and oh, it's gonna 10x, it's guaranteed. But sometimes you get lucky, and if you throw $1 into a coin and it doesn't go anywhere, you're not really losing any money. You know what I'm saying? You're just holding it, and yeah. So, but a cool coin I would be checking out if you're not from the United States. Apparently, you can trade perpetuals. You can trade perpetuals on CashCat within Phantom. So if you get the Phantom wallet, you might want to check out my videos and check out Farmtown as well. If you get the Phantom wallet, then you can get in on this coin and trade perps. They call them perps. Up to 3x. So it's not a heavy hitting perp, but it's like, and it's at like a $1 million market cap. So it's already hit 150 million before. And I'm just holding a couple of bucks in it. Could be 150 million again, and I could see 150 times 2. So that's the whole thing, is that you're not going to see a pump until today unless you actually promote the thing. It actually gets promoted, it actually gets seen, and you hold. You don't see that parabolic increase most of the time. It's rare. You can't guarantee it. You see it happen on every chart, but you just can't guarantee it. You can't, some of these charts never actually make it to that high after you got in. They already hit that high. So sometimes you're buying in, and you're like, oh, this chart looks weak. There's not much going on, and it's not really going up too high. That's not an indicator that the token's dead, but it is an indicator that, you should be cautious whether or not you should be getting into it. The only time you should be getting in heavy is if it's a wildly popular coin, you see a mega dip, you see that massive spike downwards, that's when you get in. Everybody thinks the massive spike downward, oh no, everybody's lost interest in the coin. No, that's just one fucking person. There's like 3,000 fucking people on the coin. The thing has definitely not lost interest. And if everybody buys into that dip, it goes back up again. I see it all the time. It's the panic sellers that fuck everything up. And the panic sellers are the ones that don't do their research, that have no idea about crypto. You have to do the research. You have to check the charts. I want you to be reasonable and, knowledgeable about this so we can all make money. We all make money if everybody is knowledgeable about how the crypto space works. Those who think, let's keep it a secret. No, you're fucking idiots. That's how you're losing money. Because these people don't know how to actually hold. They don't know how to do the 20% scalp, come back in with a dollar cost average. They don't know how to do that shit. You got to pull your profit and use that to pump back into the coin. Leave behind the amount that you originally invested. That's the thing. You're supposed to leave something behind. You don't just fully pull out. You're going to do, I'm on Pump Fun, and it says, sell 100%. I see one button. You can edit that button. You can choose 90%, 80%. You don't have to sell completely out of a token. I don't use Pump Fun. I use Phantom to pump the pump tokens. So my shit's even slower. And how the fuck am I making money if I got slower tools and there's other people with big tools and they're fucking losing out? What? You got 5 devices and you're losing on crypto? Bro, I'm doing it with one device. One app. I'm seeing parabolic increases on my fucking wallet. I went from $5 to 100 fucking bucks. I went 20x in a fucking week. I didn't tell you guys about that, but that's what ended up happening. I was sitting on $100 after a week of trading. I was like, I turned $5 into 100. My calls are supreme. No, you don't want to tell everybody that. I have fucking 50 different follow requests for people on just what? A week of talking in the chats? If I had the tools, I would win. Beat every one of you. And that's why you motherfuckers that actually have control over my fucking shit, that's why you don't want to see me succeed. Because if I get the fucking tools, I'll win. And that's just how it is. That's how rich people seem to operate. And those aren't the billionaires that are doing it. Those are the millionaires. Those are the fucking millionaire class. The billionaire class don't give a shit. You got fucking Elon Musk chilling, dude. He don't give a shit about what the fuck's going on. You see him in the interviews, he's like, oh, you know, ooh, I don't give a shit. You know, he's fucking almost bald, dude. He doesn't give a fuck about shit because he's a billionaire, dude. He ain't emotional. He ain't a fucking pussy like these millionaires, dude. You know, there's a difference. The fucking millionaire class, they're all like whiny. They're all like, oh, don't say anything mean. But you got Elon Musk out there like, hell yeah, fuck the system. So, yeah, you got different classes out there, people. And I'm going to tell you, billionaires are not the fucking enemy. Even Jeff Bezos isn't really the enemy. You know, I've said some stuff about Bezos, but it's more like a motivational speech when I'm talking about him. I'm like, bro, I wish he would fix the supply chain. He's in charge of it. That's where I'm coming from. The guy can do it. He's a smart guy. You know what I mean? But I'm saying, you know, there's criticism to be had. I'm not hating on people. I'm saying, look, I'm seeing some problems. If you have the control, if you can fix the problem in a nice way, not a nasty way, then do it. You can fix the problem. You have the tools. When I have the tools, I try to fix the problem. I saw that dude lose 8,000. I sat there for another fucking 2 hours trying to help that coin out. Why? Because I care. Start caring about your fellow people. I don't give a shit if he's got fucking, 1,000 times more amount of money than I'll ever see. That's fine. All that matters is the community and making people feel good. You know, at the end of the day, feel good about their investments or about their involvement. You can't run alongside with the terrorist fuckers like Iran trying to shake everybody up, cause chaos. You don't want to be that person anymore. You know, because all you're doing is ruining it for yourself. If I don't have the money, how am I supposed to be scammed by you? Think about it. You know, the same goes for these chicks, bro. Like, you know, if a dude don't have the fucking money, if you're gonna take all the easy jobs, and then you're gonna say, oh, well, why are men so weak? Why don't they have very much? If we don't have the money, if you take all the fucking money from us, we don't have any money to give you. Duh! This is why I smoke weed, by the way, because I get fucking crazy. I haven't smoked any weed yet, so I'm like on a roll. But yeah, so that, you know, the philosophy around this whole thing called the market, the free trade system. Well, if you're a person that's older and you're like, well, I want to see, you know, prosperity for everybody and everything, bro, attacking people, taking people down all the damn time, that's not helping. You're telling them to be discouraged with life. You're telling them to not actually want to participate. That's when there's a level of criticism that you can have towards somebody coming up, somebody that's young. There's a certain level of criticism, telling them what to be careful of, watch out for this. Telling them that they're fucking dirty all the fucking time, telling them they're terrible people all the time, that doesn't help. That discourages them from being a human. No wonder the next generation is fucked, man. Because look at who the fuck was teaching them. You know, you got the boomers still in charge of, like, knowledge, of wisdom. Millennial generation, start studying, start learning how to be an actual teacher. Help your future. Stop fucking everything up. You know, the millennial generation is also fucked. My own generation is also fucking things up. So it's not just, oh, the boomer generation and stuff. Like, look at the millennial generation. You're supposed to be able to teach the next generation. You decided to be fucking selfish just like the boomers. You know, you definitely got some good millennials out there speaking. I appreciate you. But most of the millennial generation is sitting in a fucking cave, whining, and, you know, oh, nothing's going right for me. And they're not doing what I'm doing. I'm talking about solution. How do we fix this? Build community. That's how we do it. That's the only way we can do it. I've been saying this for years. You got to localize. You got to build your local communities. You got to start actually knowing each other and, you know, not getting all wrapped up into the stupid moral details of what people do in their own fucking home. You know what I mean? Like, once they're out there in the same space as you, everybody kind of follows the same laws. Maybe you pick out the 10 Commandments. That's an easy rule book to have. You know, thou shalt not fuck until marriage, stuff like that. You have a very basic rule book. Everybody can get along out in the open. That's literally what America used to be. People forgot that because people didn't talk to the older generation. I did. When I was younger, I spoke to the older generation. I spoke to, you know, the now 90-year-olds when they were fucking 60. You know? I talked to the old generation when they were actually able to speak, when they were actually able to comprehend and, you know, explain things. And so I heard it from the parents of the boomers before the boomers could fuck with my head and make it out to be something else. And that's why I am wise. That's why I was able to break through the veil. It's because I talked to the people before the boomers. And I know their opinions. Yeah, hard work, but you're not supposed to hate people. You're not supposed to destroy things. You're not supposed to be a fucking hippie. That's what they were calling them back in that time. The boomers generation is hippies. The boomer generation is hippies. The generation before that, wartime fucking heroes. So no wonder the boomers got on board with the hate crew. Because they were fucking hippies. They were just running along with the trend. It was cool for a minute because Generation X made death metal music and stuff. They were like, oh, it's cool to hate again? And I'm old and I'm angry? Oh, fuck yeah, let's make that cool again. Retards! You fucking idiots! Stupidity! But it's okay. Take the criticism and continue walking and let's build together. You know, that's the actual criticism. That's the way you should be doing it, is have a critical point of view. But, bro, let's get this shit done. Let's work. Let's build up. That's how you're supposed to do it. That's how a real leader does it. There's an actual plan. There's a goal. If somebody's just insulting you and leaving it there, just like, yeah, you're a fucking bastard. Oh, okay. What does that mean? You know, what is that related to, first of all? Second of all, did you come over here just to hurt me? Like, is that the whole point? Then you're just a fucking barbarian. Get the fuck out of my village. That's how I see trolls. I'm like, you're a fucking barbarian. If you want to be identified as a barbarian, I guess that's what your name should be, what's his name? Genghis. So what I did overnight was I left little modest bags in each token. My highest token amount I held was, what is it? Which one? I can't think of it off the top of my head. But there's a few tokens that I'm watching. And, you know, there's not going to be one meme coin that rules over the rest. The only reason why Ansem did well, the Black Bull, is because of the grift. And I'm not going to get into the grift, but it has something to do with race. But it also has a lot to do with, you know, community. Community wanting to pump themselves up and be something finally. So they wanted to make one thing viral and for them to be involved with it. So they believed in the token. That's why it hit 300 million. That's why. It wasn't a fluke. It was people really working hard for it. What I believe is, yeah, there's a lot of dark money into it. I've already talked about this, where dark money is everywhere in that space. But it doesn't matter because dark money's everywhere in the space. So, you know, what I think is going to have to happen to Ansem, which already did, it already pulled back to 100 million. I don't know if it's going to keep pulling back. I expect it to pull back to about 35 million. That's when I'll throw $1 at it. You know what I mean? I'm not throwing $1 at it now. I mean, it's fucking way too high. But that's what I've been doing, is I've been throwing $1 at stuff. If things are still low market cap, that's when you can throw in, you know, a little bit bigger. You throw in a $4 bag in there, it can easily go 5x, and then you see 25 out. What people don't understand about the crypto market is what you're seeing on Coinbase on the main page, what you're seeing on crypto.com, the main page, you're seeing all these main pages. These are very slow moving coins. You go into the altcoin market, not everything's a rug. Because you have support, because you have community support. You know, if people had already bought my bear token and it was lifting off, I wouldn't have been selling it at all. If you look at the bear token, the chart, I keep selling and buying it. Nobody else is. That's just me. So I would have, like, basically I'm a broke person. So I'm just, you know, there's nothing going on with the token and, you know, I need a couple of $5-10. Yeah, that's when I keep pulling in and out. But, you know, if the bear token was doing well, all my other fucking shit would be doing well. You know what I mean? I'd be pulling in fucking income. I wouldn't be pulling a token out. Bro, that's not what developers do. The only time that a developer pulls out of their token is when they don't believe in actually using that token for anything. They don't think about airdropping it to their audience. That's my plan with the bear token, based bear on Sol. The plan with that token is to actually airdrop it out to people to have them have an entry level into the video game that I'm building that's about 70% complete, and I still have been stagnant on it for a while. I hand wrote it, you know? But I don't have as much much motivation right now. I mean, we got 9 holders on the base bear on Solana. I wish I could get some more people in on it. You know, I've promoted it on Phantom. People just don't seem to want to throw $1 at it, even though I'm sitting there pumping their tokens. It's kind of annoying. That's what I noticed, you know, a while ago, too many months ago, and that's kind of why I kind of left the space to begin with, because I was like, nobody wants to buy it. Everybody keeps begging me for boosts, and it looks like everybody's just corrupt. Well, I started, you know, watching these trades and playing around with Phantom, and I think I'm finding a decent audience, not an audience, but like a decent community. You know, I'm talking to my audience right now, but so let's talk coinage. Let's see what's going to happen today. If you guys want to follow along, we'll be talking about charts and coins. After that, I'm going to go to work, and I'm going to go make some money on my bike like I usually do. So give me a second so I can leave the app, and then I got to turn my camera on. It's like my camera turns off automatically. All right, cool. I'm back. So I'm not an expert 100%, but I'm like 70%. I know like 70% of the crypto space. Like, I'm not fully knowledgeable about this or that or the other. Whoa, Pumpcat. Damn. Did Pumpcat really just keep going up? No. There's no fucking way. Dude, if Pumpcat's going up again, that's insane. That's epic. Because I got back in. Load. Nah, it didn't. It probably pumped for a minute, but then it like fell back down to 32. Okay. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it was up. Oh, last night, that's when it was last like super up, and that's when I was, you know, in it. Trying to hope that it was going to go up again, but now it's at 3.2. It's actually bottomed out all the way almost. But yeah, is you know, as disappointing as that is, it's whatever. Big Bull is going up. So one coin goes down, a different coin goes up. Do you know who owns restaurants? Something like that. I didn't read the rest of that. 1 second. Whoa, there is a lot of people messaging, and I haven't seen any of the messages because they haven't been popping up in my screen. So I'm sorry about not seeing the messages. I didn't see any comments at all. Let me go look at the app. I don't know why that didn't show up. That's annoying. Let me check. I didn't see any of these messages. I'm gonna scroll up. So I'm gonna go to the first message here. Hey bro, what are you even talking about? Okay, everyone like and subscribe for this guy. Now he seems like a good guy. You should subscribe. Hey, I appreciate that very much. Got William Slosh in the house. Schloss, I think. Schloss. I think that's how you pronounce it. Yo, bro, it's been a long time. We've been chatting on Telegram about life. Nah, we've been chatting on Telegram about the boosts. Give me some boosts, bro. Get some boosts. Nah, you're in that fucking pump crew that, you know, kind of turned me away from Pump Fun because of the fucking Telegram bullshit. But, you know, I appreciate you if you're one of these, you know, positive guys. I'm not 100% sure if that was one of you, but you were talking to me during a time when I was talking to people right from Pump Fun. That's where I was getting most of, you know, the newcomers to come and talk to me on Telegram. So if you're, you know, one of these people begging for a boost all the time and then, oh, I could totally pump your coin so easily with just a boost, but then needs, you know, $10 for some food money. I mean, if you're one of these people, that's too bad. If you're not, then beautiful. Hey, what's up? That's my response to that. So let's see. Hello from Russia, St. Petersburg. Welcome. Do I got a house? No, I'm not. I haven't succeeded yet in the meme coin market, but I think I might get lucky soon. And it really only takes $1 at the bottom. You know, you only need a fucking dollar at the bottom and you could become rich. I'm not even kidding. I've seen it too many times. Yo, this guy talked to me once in personal. Yeah, you know. Let's see. I've been waiting for you, son. Shut up. Can I what? You nasty fucker. What the hell are these comments? I'm reading the comments finally. It took me a minute because I didn't see any of the comments popping up. They wouldn't toast at me. So you don't seem real informed. What? Aussies have no fashion sense, right? Oh my god, Australian chicks are fucking hot. Like they're like battered looking, but they're hot at the same damn time. I've described British chicks as like hot trashy chicks. Like I don't know why, dude. Like they're fucking hot. Like even when they look fucking like not that great, they're fucking hot. British chicks are fucking hot. They got big asses too, unexpectedly. A white chick with a huge ass. All right, let's see. And it's because they eat pork. So if you're a chick watching and you want to get a big ass, eat some pork. Get more of that bacon. All right, let's see. Hey man, take a breath. If you're so good at this, why are you where you're at? Oh, here comes a troll. Now, these are the trolls that fuck everything up. It's because of you trolls. You come around to these chats and you try to change people's opinions. So if somebody's actually great and, you know, they're doing a good job, they're being decent people, you got these little fucking trolls, or even the coin's doing good or something like that, or a space is decent. You got these little trolls coming in and making shit up, you know, even if it's true or not true, bringing in information just to, you know, be bombastic and destroy the fucking vibe. That's what you got everywhere. You got these little rich trolls. They're the millionaires. The rich trolls are the millionaires. These trolls are the millionaires, and they're going on these little, you know, fake personalities and stuff, and they're, you know, attacking people that might become millionaires themselves as well. So somebody that has potential is a threat to all the millionaires, not the billionaires, because the billionaires are way better than that. The millionaires are trying to fuck you over. They have the time and the tools to go around and troll you like they do. They're in every single chat. They're over there. They're just trolls, okay? But these trolls are rich. They're filthy rich, and that's why they do what they do, because they need to make sure the competition never comes up. They control the attention market. The billionaires indirectly control the attention market. The millionaires directly control the attention market because that's what keeps them alive. I figured it all out. And that's why they fucking hate me. I'm over the target. And there's other people that I've been collaborating with and, you know, correlating with. And basically they've said exactly the same thing without me being there in the chat. And this was after I had said it. And I'm sitting here like, bro, did you hear that from me? Like, it was just so on point. And I'm just sitting here like, bro, we're figuring it out. You fucking trolls are going down. We're gonna get you. We're gonna get you, motherfuckers. You wanna fuck around, you fucking millionaire motherfuckers? We're gonna get you. We're waking up. Anyways, so buy high, sell low. No, that's the stupid idea. he is giving everyone good advice. Yeah, I am trying to give people absolutely good advice. I think it's worth it. At the end of the day, with the crypto market, if I'm going to be out here in the space, well, it's also in the business sphere, it's in the housing industry, it's everywhere, dude. We need more people informed about what's actually going on, so we can have a healthy market. People got to know what they're actually buying. You don't have to fucking scam people to get money. You can just do basic trade. That's how we did it for hundreds of years, thousands of years at this point. Cryptocurrency investment strategies. Learn from his experiences. Yeah, my experiences for sure. Because I've had experiences where I've lost, and I've had experiences where I've won, and I know how I won and I know how I lost, and I just get better every single day. And I'm not even playing with big money. I'm playing with tiny amounts. It's almost like a simulation, and then I play it, and I'm not playing it in a funny way because $1 actually does matter to me, but it's not going to kill me if I lose it. So that's the position that I'm in. So this is the perfect learning experience for me, to be poor and to be trying to trade with small amounts of money and to see big pumps and see, losses. I'm able to learn. You have to learn that chart, and it takes experience to learn it. No, bro, is learning how to become a rich man, and half the country is homeless. It's hyperinflation. Yep. And that's the thing, is that our money isn't worth as much as it used to be worth. And so I'm sitting here looking at it, and I'm like, what is the dollar actually going to be worth later on? The paper dollar, change is going to be worth something, coinage, metal, but the paper dollar is kind of worthless. At the end of the day, what is it? You leave $1 on the ground, it's going to disintegrate after, 6 months to a year. You leave a coin on the ground. Yeah, it might have a little bit of, green on it if it's copper. It might grow onto it, oxidation, but that's okay because you could still, trade it around. It's still metal. So, bro, the coinage is more worthy than the dollars, and there's actually less coins on the planet than there are paper dollar bills. And that includes $100 bills and everything else. It's think about that. So, and you will be homeless too soon if you don't understand if you'll be homeless too if you don't understand hyperinflation, you don't understand how, the billionaires actually made it, and how inflation is a planned event. Inflation is not just something that we can defeat. It's not supposed to be defeated, actually. And that's the big lie. That's the great lie that's been told to us for so long. Just save. No, you're not supposed to just save. You're supposed to save and put that into a yield account. That's how you do it. You don't just save and make money, dude. Yeah, that's step one, but you need to actually make that money work for you. That's why you got to put it into a yield. It's something that's going to actually bring you something back. You have to actually invest your money. Jesus said, invest your money, but move your money, use your money. That's what you're supposed to do with your money. You're not supposed to let it sit in a fucking pocket and rot. That's in the Bible, dude. I don't know if people knew that, but yeah, it's okay to hold on to assets and to earn and make your money work for you and maybe lend money and stuff like that. That's in the Bible, but you're not supposed to hold on to your money and just not do anything with it. I don't want my neighbor to do well, so I'm not going to help him out. You know what I mean? If you got something, try to make it work. And, just that's how you have to treat everything. You see somebody coming up to the door, you're leaving a store. Hold the door open for them. Be helpful. It pays off more than you think at the end of the day. Y'all better sit down and listen up. That's right. Do you sometimes smell that's nasty, dude? I need to actually I need to fucking have a moderator at some point. Right, it's the ones that are lacking knowledge messing it up for everyone. See what he's saying? Yeah. It's those people that end up panic selling. That's literally what happens, and then it's a snowball effect. But do you understand why they panic sell? It's because of the fucking trolls trying to instill that bad sentiment towards it. That's what's going on. It's not necessarily they're all stupid. It's that even the biggest hitters are fishing their grip. They're just letting their fucking bag go, because of these trolls as well. So these trolls need to be removed. They're in the chat saying scam alert, oh, this is a rug, and they're giving all, they're trying to fuck with people's emotion, dude. And then when the price falls, they get in early, and then they get on another account, and then they're on the other side, they're on the upswing, they're like, yeah, go pump. So these people are on the bottom and the top. That, you know what I'm saying? They're on the what is it? The bear side and the bull side. So it's a whole attention market, right? Stick together and we all win. if you can turn $5 into 100, that means you can turn 5K into 100K. Yeah, for sure. But that's the thing is you gotta make sure you're right though, because if you're wrong, then you lose, the entire bag. And being early to everything is just the better option. That's why a billionaire is a billionaire. They don't give a fuck about the actual money. They just want to be involved, and they know how to be involved. The millionaire don't. The billionaire do. That's why the billionaire is a billionaire and a fucking millionaire is still stuck being a millionaire, because they don't want to be involved with anything. They want to sit in a fucking cave and not do anything that's actually, involved with society. They just, they don't want to go out and DoorDash. Like, I'm going out and DoorDashing, and I'm making connections with people. I'm making people smile, and I don't even care if I talk to them the next day. I'm just glad to see another person in my community happy because they got their meal on time and it was warm or cold or whatever the hell they fucking ordered as, So, but we can't expect everyone to understand hyperinflation. It's a war. The government wages a war on everyone. But here's the thing is that inflation is sort of like based, like, we've all been lied to. We've all been told just save your money. Oh, you'll be able to make money on the saved money at some point. Bro, you're supposed to tell them, make the money, save the money, and receive yield from it. Put it into a savings account and expect yield. You know what I mean? Like, you're not supposed to just save it and throw it into a fucking, into the ground for later. You might not even remember it's there. You gotta move your buddy. You gotta do something with your buddy. Because that's, the world doesn't continue to move. That's why, if you're just going to hold on to your buddy and everybody else is, up in chaos, like they can't fucking afford bread. Like, dude, they're not going to be able to buy what you're selling. Your money becomes worthless and less worth something over time. They end up finding out that bread is more worth it than the money. They'd rather build a farm than, go to an office building. That's what I'm saying. By 2029, AI takes over. 2032, all Americans end up throwing away their fucking phone because they're done with the system, dude. I'm telling y'all, you fucking rich little millionaires, you ain't even the billionaires. The billionaires are trying to save it. The millionaires are trying to wreck it. Fucking millionaires, dude, you're gonna wreck it for yourselves. We're not gonna need your fucking money. All that paper you're holding on to, sitting in that little cave like a fucking dragon with a gremlin sitting next to him, fucking trolls. Bro, that money is only worth as much as we want to make it worth. As much as we think it's worth. We're looking at money. We're like, what the fuck is this shit? Everything just keeps getting more expensive. You can't just blame it on Trump, dude. Trump's not the fucking issue. Trump tried to make it not the issue. He tried to fix things, dude. He tried to pull down regulations. He tried to make it easier for you to operate. Less taxes. No tax on tips. Why the fuck are your good deeds and, rewards being taxed? That's insane. You went above and beyond. You got a tip from somebody and then somehow, the government needs a piece of that? Hell no. You know what I mean? We're fixing this shit. Already in taxed income, that's already a scam. And then you're going to take from our rewards for going above and beyond and getting a tip? Hell no, dude. That doesn't make any sense to anyone. That's what Trump did, dude. Kamala was like, oh, I'm going to do that. No, she said that after Trump said that. That was a Trump idea. Trump is the fucking man. Trump gets it done. He is king, dude. And I really hope the next person that gets in there is endorsed by Trump. The problem is it going to be the right person? There's plenty of endorsements, but I really just hope that it's the right person. In fact, the only person I probably trust in there is JD Vance, but he said he's not going to run for president. Let's see. The golden rule. I don't expect you to agree with my politics, but I'm telling you, Trump was never a politic. He was never that. He's a rich person who knows how to make money. That's who he is. And he can help us make money. And that's what made our country great, was that we had plenty of fucking money. Everybody wanted to interact with us. They were like, oh, $1? Yeah, $1, and it's not going to rip like the fucking paper over there. You know what I mean? That was the concept. But anyways, dodge, duck, dip, dive, yeah. You got, you look like Pete the Pirate from the movie Dodgeball. Okay. Let's see. The ones who lived through the last hyperinflation here are all dead now. That's part of the reason why they pull it again now. They know everyone that knows about it already died and can't warn anyone. And I'm glad that you pointed that out, because there's a lot of people that don't understand. The older generation had wisdom that, they went through experiences and they know what can happen. It's not a guarantee that it'll happen. You can't take every horror story as fact, you know, in a way, you know, of a modern fact. But what you have to do is look at the signs and understand through what they say the bigger picture, because they've been through all the stuff that you're not privy to. You haven't seen yet. There's people's experiences that you haven't exactly seen. Like, for instance, for all the people who are in a good spot right now, do you understand that if you do not have a house to live in, then you need to either travel very far to get a shower? If you don't have relatives to, you know, get a shower from, you have to travel very, very far, or you need to be living in a house. You can't do it homeless. You think it's going to be easy homeless if shit went bad? No. Hold on to your job. Do not give up your fucking job. Do not give up any of that, dude. Like, think about it. You can't even get a shower if you're fucking homeless unless you're rich. Unless you can go drive or get rides even to go and get these showers. You have to stay at the homeless shelter. Oh, I want to live out in the woods. Bro, you don't get to get the shower then. It should just be as easy as living in the woods. Okay, then you don't get a shower. Because you have to actually live and sleep at the homeless shelter in order to get a shower. And then if they spot you hanging out with somebody and talking with somebody, just simply having conversation with somebody that they don't like, they can tell you, get out. Did you know that? So simply by associating with somebody else that they don't like, they can kick you out of that homeless shelter. Not because you did anything wrong. Insane, right? You don't want to be in that situation, guys. You think homeless is just easy. No, it's a battlefield, bro. I was out there. The ladies call me T-Bone because my first name, Tommy. Give the ladies something. All right. That's smooth. Those that understand what's going on all have to calm ourselves down because we get frustrated and angry justifiably. But you aren't angry enough, because look at what's happening. You don't even have fucking showers. If you can't even, okay, you can't sleep in the woods, not allowed to. All right, well, you can't sleep on the streets, not allowed to. All right, you can't find a shower anywhere. You're not allowed to use the shower unless you sleep where you can get your stuff robbed. If you want to get a shower without having to drive 3 fucking hours and using up all that gas, you'd be spending like $50 to be able to get a shower, then you're going to have to park your vehicle in a sketchy parking space, go sleep inside the place, and be locked in after 8 p.m. Your phone is taken from you. You're not allowed to use your phone while you're in there. That's how it is. It's prison. Once you're a homeless person, you're basically prison, but you're allowed to go outside. Have that in mind. You guys think homelessness is just a whatever. For chicks, they don't deal with that. There's plenty of homeless shelters for chicks. Of course people want to, abuse the chick while she's in the homeless shelter. Of course they'll give her a place to stay. Of course a homeowner will definitely give a chick place to stay because he's going to get he's going to get BJ's on the fucking way. All right? Of course a chick's going to get there. So if you're a chick, you have no idea what it's like to be actually homeless. All right? If you're a dude and you've been homeless before, you know exactly what the fuck I'm talking about. Nothing to be like, I'm not at war with chicks, but what I'm saying is that chicks are at war with us. And if you're going to have a problem with us, look at what the fuck we got to deal with. We got to put up with your bullshit. At the same time, we don't get a fucking, safety net like you do. You can say, oh, that dude raised his voice. I feel threatened. Please bring me to the domestic violence shelter. I got a place to live now. Please, oh, I'm so sad. Everybody's like hugging you and stuff and giving you all this support. Dude, that's what you're getting as a chick. As a dude, you gotta go to the homeless shelter to get your fucking shit stolen. Some people even get a fucking, get injected with needles and shit while they're fucking sleeping. It's nasty shit. I've heard everything. People getting all their shit stolen just right from them. They're sleeping with it and somebody comes over, grabs it and runs. Dude, it's messed, man. This one chick, she got bit by a fucking spider in her ear. She had a huge infection. Like, there's, that's what I'm saying, is that you don't know what it's like to be homeless, especially in today's society when you don't actually have that much access because there's that many more people. There's, like, these shelters for people to go to. They're nasty places. And why? Because you got a lot of nasty people that have to depend on them. Get off the white dude. Do you know Dr. Jafar, who owns restaurants and hotels in USA and Middle East? I'm not sure. I mean, I'm sure that's a common name, to be honest, though. You all need to remember it's not really assets gaining any real value or wealth. It's just assets adjusting to the valuation of the dollar. Absolutely, that's true too. But also, there's a market beyond that, and that's the attention market that I've been yelling and screaming about for quite a while now. And that market doesn't deal with, the actual gain and value of the assets. Their gain is in the activity behind that sort of corridor of business. So if, let's say, in the meme market, I'm out here, if anybody came from Pump Fun and saw my messages, I'm out there cheering it on and stuff like that. People normally get paid to do that. Yeah, that's usually a paid job. I'm doing it for fucking free, dude. But I'm showing everybody my technique. I'm showing everybody that this can be done. You don't have to be paid for it. And these secrets to, success they're very well known. People just don't want to tell you about it. But if everybody knew the secrets to success, everybody would be successful because everybody would be on point and be building up with their nation rather than building up their own little fucking cave where they got a ceiling. They got a cave. You're in a cave. That fucking ceiling, that's all you got. You got to go outside the cave to get value into your what you're interested in. So as the dollar devalues more rapidly to hyperinflation, dollar prices of everything increase exponentially. Yep, absolutely. So the price of everything else goes up because the dollar becomes worth less. So you need more of those dollars to pay for the thing that, you want to get. So a bottle of water becomes not just, 50 cents anymore, or 10 or $1, it's $2. And then sometimes it'll go up to $10. And then the wage hasn't been fixed. The minimum wage, I used to disagree with raising the minimum wage until I realized that inflation is a planned event. Inflation is a planned event. Inflation is supposed to happen. It's just, can we get the the rate of inflation kind of leveled off? Can we control that rate of inflation? That's the whole point of the Federal Reserve. Like, you got Jay Powell, or whoever the new Fed chair is. That's what that dude's job is, raising and lowering the interest rates to continue the flow of money into the treasury so that they can still afford their operations and they can keep the economy healthy. They're doing tons and tons of calculations. But they're a separate entity, but that's a whole nother story. We could get into that later, but it doesn't matter because our currency right now is reliant on that dollar. So moving on, you don't want a house in the United States. There will be big housing market, stock crash. What you want in the United States is land, and you want to build it for cheap. You don't want to do so much investing. You want to do more building. America is the place to be, but it's going to be the not place to be because nobody knows how to do this shit. I know how to do this shit. I'm better at giving advice than taking my own advice. A lot of trolls are just ignorant people. Yeah, I know, right? Or children of the same millionaires who hold the same ideals as their parents, but their mentality doesn't make millionaires anymore. Well, the thing is that they are millionaires. It's just, the people stopped falling for the bullshit, basically. So the people who have been falling for the scam by the millionaires, they have stopped falling for these scams. So the millionaires ran out of money. And the millionaires are sitting there like, oh, how do we get our hands in this market now? And how do we get our hands in this market? Let's be, terrible and chaotic and destroy things. And that's how we're going to, get control. You fucking retards. You keep doing that because guess what? It's not going to work. And you're going to be completely out of the picture at some point. You know what I mean? Imagine everybody getting in on every single token at the low end, every good person out there getting in at the low end of a token and following my advice. And that's what I'm saying is get in early on all the tokens that have people in it. You see one trade into a token, throw $1 in it. That dollar can turn into $100, all right? But if everybody's doing this, and we can control the entire crypto space, whenever somebody puts $1 into it, we're seeing an increase in our value. And we just keep holding, and we can take control of the entire crypto market like that if we all worked together. If everybody throws $1 onto my bear token, that thing is going to be like, it's going to go from 2 point whatever, thousand, it's going to go to, 3,000, 5,000 over time. I suggest if anybody can, if anybody feels, like risking $1, throw $1 at my bear token. You're going to see that value on that dollar go up and you're going to see it go down. Expect to lose the dollar. But if you support it, I'll continue pumping this token. And yeah, I'm a poor person. I might pull out $5 because I absolutely need it. I'm in a desperate spot. Right now, I don't have to. But you're only going to lose or gain $1. You know what I'm saying? And you just support the movement. Support the movement of holding. Just let your stuff hold. The thing about the big hitters, the big people, the traders that are well known, their wallets look beautiful. It's almost, you could argue that it's manufactured, but their wallets look beautiful. They're always holding something rather than just dumping it. So that's why they get so much support. If you look at my wallet is atrocious. I'm always buying and selling, and it's just like I'm losing money here and there. I'm gaining money here and there, So my wallet is not perfect. My calls are on point. So anybody who traded based on what I was saying has made a lot of money. But if you looked at my wallet and you were like, oh, I'm going to base my trades on that. No, you don't want to do that. you know what I mean? You want to go minute to minute. You don't want to see what I'm holding long term or any of that, because that's not going to really be, a good idea. The reason why I'm holding something is to watch the market to see, whether or not this particular token might trend again, or, that's how you have to do the meme market. You actually have to do your research. Meme tokens are not just, I'm going to throw shit at the wall. That's not how you make money in it, unless you're in early. So hand pink waving, I know what that means. Jesus was against usury, money lending at high interest rates. At high interest rates, yeah, it would be quite specific to say that, pulling money and getting value off just holding on to the money is technically, sinful. But in today's society, it's the lesser of two evils. You'd rather hold the money and actually earn and then pump up your nation with money from outside of the nation, and then to just let it sit in a shoebox and not do anything. Yeah, market manipulation. You see those billionaires are just doing what he is doing, just with way larger amounts of money, correct. But, some of them are even just simply doing that. Like, I've seen the amounts that they're putting in, and I see them sitting there. They just leave behind money everywhere. It's just a trail of fucking money just sitting in every fucking wallet. It's in every single token, history. It's insane. How do you personally process or understand passages in the Bible that seem to contradict each other? So what I imagine is that different parts in the Bible are contradictory because they are sort of translated wrong in some cases, but in other cases, what happens at one point in a story, it doesn't relate to another point in the story technically. Like, here's the thing, is that there's multiple perspectives to see things from, and God, you would think that it's just a one perspective, but God is more just truth. That one perspective of truth. You can look at truth from this angle or that angle. You can see it from both sides. I'm a Gemini, so I always see things from both sides, but I'm also a Cancer. I'm on the cusp, June 21st. So therefore, I'm able to actually voice it. That's what you're witnessing right now. Somebody who can see both sides of the situation and is able to voice it. That's why I sound like I know what I'm talking about, because I do know what I'm talking about. I'm seeing it from both sides. I'm seeing it from the nasty side and the good side. Since the Trinity is 3 in 1, do you usually direct your personal prayers to the Father, Jesus, or the Holy Spirit, and why? I literally only speak to God. And I know that, that's who it is. And it's about, knowing that it's just one. I don't talk to a Trinity. There's no extra entities up there. There's no left and right even. There's no demon out there. I don't believe in Satan in the sense of, it having a manifestation. I believe in only God. I believe that the devil is lie. It just doesn't exist, in my opinion. Evil is there. Possession is there. But this is just energies. Like, God created those. And God created those to test us. The president does, let's see, a lot of people who understand the Bible was trying to teach good lessons and morals. They don't pray. Well, that's up to them. That's between them and their relationship with God. If they're sitting there like a job, saying, okay, where's your boarding pass and stuff like that, that you can't just say that they own the company because they're following the same, script, and you can't even say that they care to be there for the company. There's some people doing God's work and they don't want to do God's work. So it is what it is. You got to look at just the script, just the Bible. It doesn't matter what other people are doing around the Bible. It matters what is said in the Bible, and just self-preservation. That's what it is. If everybody preserved themselves well, and let's say in this case when I'm talking about cryptocurrency, trading smart, then everybody wins. That you cannot lose if everybody's on the same page and just working together. The only problem is that you see evil people that are consumed by evil. They want to be on top and they want power, and that's all they want. The reason why I'm not on top is because I did not wrench power from people's hands. I didn't want the power. I wanted everybody to be in charge of themselves. Everybody to be decent to each other. I didn't want to be in charge because that was a lot of fucking stress. People used to look up to me in the way that, I felt like, okay, yeah, I'll lead them. And at some point, they put too much faith in me and they didn't use their own brains, and, shit happened. So it is what it is. You got to be able to use your own brains. That's why I'm trying to teach you stuff. You guys, anybody that might not know what I'm talking about here, anybody that does know what I'm talking about, that's great. You're on the right page and you already know what I'm talking about. So, don't take this as like me just, talking down to you or anything. If anybody's already knowledgeable about this shit, they know. Be an adult about it. Take it as like, advice that's only just here to empower you and to confirm what you already know. If you have ever been homeless, you don't, you don't necessarily know. Let's see. Let's see. The president doesn't have much power. Yep. This hyperinflation was planned before Trump became president for his first term. Dude, there was already hyperinflation going on even in the 80s and the 90s too. Like this, 2008, look at the housing crash, the housing bubble. There was so many things that we've gone through, 250 years of American history, So, yeah, if you haven't been homeless, you don't really understand that, like, prices when you're homeless are up, like they cost like 30% more automatically, because you don't have a choice to go to this store or that store. You don't have a choice to pay less unless you're getting food stamps, unless you're getting kickbacks from the government and everything else. I don't. So I'm not getting welfare, but unless you're getting kickbacks and stuff, you're not seeing those low prices. You don't get to choose where the hell you're going to buy. So you don't get that cheap price. You always have to overpay. I was sleeping in a vehicle and I was buying everything from a gas station, Wawa. Anybody have a Wawa where they're at? Those are really nice gas stations. They're selling burgers there. They got a fucking restaurant inside, basically. Really, really nice place. Best coffee on the planet. But I was basically like living at the Wawa, and like I would go to different parking lots and stuff. But I would be like working and staying at the Wawa for DoorDash for hours and hours. I would sleep overnight, in different parking lots. But I felt the safest at a Wawa. But that's where I was paying. I was buying a $5 fucking sandwich that really should have cost $2. So that's what you deal with when you're homeless. When everybody else is complaining about these prices, I'm like, bro, I'm in a house now. I can go to a store now and actually hold on to my things without them fucking getting baked in the sun, or, you know what I'm saying, lost in my vehicle amongst everything else. So now it's quite a bit different, and I'm actually paying way less than I was when I was homeless living in a vehicle. So this didn't change my life. This whole, oh no, prices are so much higher. It didn't change my life because I didn't live above beyond my means. That's why the meek will inherit the earth. Those who have the tools but haven't used them. That's what the meek basically stands for. Let's see. Read comments more. They are not really trying to help homeless people, and homeless with no car is even worse. Yeah, I feel bad for the ones that have to actually like lay down in a fucking parking lot, man. I feel extremely bad for them. That's why I'm saying if I could come up with there's so many things that I want to do. I should be billionaire. I should be in charge of a lot of things. I would like to make a supply chain and like help homeless people by giving them a fucking job, a decentralized supply chain. You don't need to be working in a factory to build a shoe. You don't need to be working in a factory to fucking make things. You can make wire things and stuff. You can do all this stuff. You just got to have the knowledge and the connection to actually make the trade. So that's what we would need to do to fix everything, is to bring back the supply chain and make the supply chain the people's supply chain, not the Jeff Bezos supply chain. I like Jeff Bezos, I like Elon Musk, but these people, they got the supply chain locked down, and they're probably the only reason why the millionaires haven't completely consumed us and just, destroyed us off the planet. You got Bill Gates, he's a little bit sketchy, but he might actually mean well, and the people underneath him might not mean well. You got to understand, there's people that have a lot of power and they have a limited scope. Even though they know a lot of things, they still have a limited scope. So when Trump had advisors in 2016, he had shitty advisors. These people actually, betrayed him. But he wasn't supposed to be able to know that, like foresight automatically. So you have to understand the Federal Reserve Bank is $40 trillion in debt. And they are the ones who own the names on our birth certificate. Ooh, that's a good point. I didn't think of it that way. Elaborate financial scams are usually run by Freemason gangs. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know that part yet, if it's Freemasons or not. But I felt like the Freemasons are not those gangs. If the Freemasons are those gangs, then shame on them. I'll find out who it is eventually, because I am getting down to the bottom of it. I've already come this far to confirm what I thought so far. At present, few economy will face paralysis. That doesn't make any sense. Next is crypto. It will take time, and yes, better to say decades. It's on parallel pipeline, but I think it's going to happen rapidly in the next 5 years. So I understand. It costs way more to be poor. Yeah, it does. We don't have Wawa out here in California yet. So that's why I say to people, I'm like, it costs more for the poor people to actually get what they need. And then you're expecting them to just, like for a homeless person to be able to take a shower every single day. If you want a free shower, first of all, you have to sleep in an actual homeless shelter to get that free shower. So that means risking everything that you have getting stolen from you in order to actually get a shower, because you have to sleep there overnight. You're in bed by 8. Okay, but you don't get to watch over your things. You have to put them in a certain spot. Who knows who the fuck's going to take that? And that's happened a lot of times. People end up getting it took. And then after that, they got to somehow make it to the specific job. Unless the job's 2 blocks away from the homeless shelter, they're going to need to get a bus. Okay, they're going to have to get a bus and make sure they're on time, but also be able to pay the fare. Maybe they're in a state, a city that pays the fare for them. That'd be amazing. But they still have to deal with all these other complications that rich people don't have to deal with because, well, they're rich. And they can consider themselves as, oh, we're just responsible people. Well, no, yeah, and no. The thing is you got lucky. And that's if you actually got lucky. If you didn't get lucky, then you stole it from somebody else. And then you were like, oh, keep giving us money after you already took the money, dude. You already have the fucking money. Now it's your turn. You know what I mean? That was your turn. You gotta do something now. Like, I've already put my money in. That's how I've been treating these coins. It's like, I'm like, pump. Okay, it dropped. People are like, oh man, throw more in. I'm like, hey, chill. Just relax, guys. And it's not really like, oh, I don't want to throw in. It's that there's people that have already thrown in. They've already seen that rise in the chart, and they're still holding. And they're taking a risk by holding, and they got a profit, and you're sitting there like, oh, put more on it. And it's like, bro, I could just pull the fuck out right now. Shut up. You know what I mean? That's what that's what the big whales are saying. They're like thinking that shit. And I'm over there. I'm like putting the good sentiment out there. I'm like, hey, I ain't a child. Let's get this shit done. We could pump if we want to pump, but fucking throw $1 in and leave it, set it and forget it. Set it, forget it. Throw $1 in there, expect it to be lost. If it hits a 10x, hell yeah. But make sure you're in on it at like 2.5K. You want to be in on it early. If that shit rugs, you want to either, have major profit before it rugs on $1 and, you don't have to worry about it after that. It's just better to be safe. Safe money isn't rich money, but the thing is that a lot of safe money is rich money. You think millionaires risk it all the time? They're taking risks, but the kinds of risks that they're taking aren't really the ones that you're thinking. It's a calculated risk. So the millionaires want to get you all emotional. What? Oh, I'm supposed to put the house on it when I go in for a bet, and that's how I make money. No, that's not how you do it. You take the profits you earn, and you got wildly lucky on one thing. You might get lucky one more time, and you might hit it big. Sure, throw 80% at something. Go in big for one thing. You don't want to be doing that all the time. You don't want to be risking it all the time. Sometimes you can make a calculated risk and hit it big. I would have had about $2,000 last night on Luna Bear if I had held. I was in on it. I called it at 2.65K. That's when I called it at bottom. If I had left the original $5 that I threw in there, there was 2.5. I had 2.5 million of those tokens. It went up to a 200K market cap. Look at how much money that is. 20x, dude. And if I had gone even deeper into it and actually promoted the fucking thing, well, that it would have even gone much higher. People would have been in on it sooner. I don't have an audience. There's one that's bed pumping. It's called The Bull. Or is it no, it's Big Bull. So this coin is 2 years old. It's got plenty of fucking little trolls in there. And, I threw $1 at it. That dollar went 50% up. I was like, sweet. And now it's just hovering at, I'm like 75% up, and I'm just leaving it in there. Cash Cat, I put $2 in there. It was at 175 earlier. Now it's at 188. Hold. The more that you hold and the less people sell, the more likely that token's actually gonna have kind of continue to be healthy. Because what people are noticing when they're looking at a coin, they're researching how many buys are in it, how many whales are in it, but mostly how many sales are in it. If it's already seen a huge pump and then dump, people are not gonna want to put, $50 on it, $100 on it if they are in the space for that, for profit. What they will do is throw a little modest bag, $5 at it, and watch it grow over the next week. That's what people are doing. Solana keeps growing in value, and it reached 190K market cap or 190 million. I think it's 190 million market cap, not billion. No, I'm fucking thinking about the price. I'm sorry. Like I said, I'm 70% of the crypto space. I understand 70%. I think it's 90 something billion dollars that Solana has in market cap. That's just off the top of my head. I'm just like, my brain's not even like 100% focused on one thing. We're at $77 per coin. It used to be $190 per coin. That's when I was looking at it. It dipped down to 150 per coin, and that's when I got into Steppin'. So I grabbed a couple of sneakers at that lower price. Well, now it's half. It's 50%, but that sneaker is still worth the same value in the tokens that it's sold in. So if you do the conversion and see how much it's worth in GMT, bro, it's the same fucking price. The price went down, but it never actually, I never lost value. I've actually pulled out about $20 from there too. So Step-In is decent. If you guys check it out, it actually works. The only thing is you got to understand it, do your own research, learn the game, because it's kind of a game. It's a gamified, physical activity tracker. But when Solana pumps, everything on the Solana blockchain pumps. So everything gains value automatically because it's backed by Solana. So that's amazing. I mean, like Pumpcat, it's just, it's falling, but it's only falling slowly. And even if I, lose it, Cash Cat stays relevant and Pumpcat could end up being relevant. But oh shit, somebody traded into the bear. I see someone. Well done. That makes me want to hold it because people actually show interest in it. That's if the if somebody actually bought into it, though, because it's interesting. Still says 9 holders, so if somebody else did buy into it and it wasn't just me, then it was the same person that was already in it, because there was another holder. We got nine holders. Yesterday we had 8. But if you guys want to get involved with the token before it becomes an actual project in a game, you know, you'd be first, you'd be early. Throw $1 at Based Bear on Sol. That's on my Godfinger account. You can look up my shit on Pump Fund. When you go into my account, you're going to see at the bottom of my closed positions, you're going to fucking laugh. And it's because the reason why I even got into the token, the DSN, is because it was so ridiculous. I was like, fuck it. I'm so sick of these rug pulls. Fuck it, I'll try that. That's when I was just aping $1 at things. So I aped 70 cents at it. And then it like died. It fell down like 30%. And I was like, okay, dump out. And I fucking sold off the 41 cents. I was like, oh, that ain't going anywhere. That was my most recent closed position. And that's when I gave up. I was like, not even the ridiculous ones? Damn it. Nothing's going to do well out here. I didn't understand the meme coin market. But, oh, look at Luna Bear. Still sitting at 87K. Very cool. But somebody's going to end up pulling out. So careful. If you guys are getting into Luna Bear, do not FOMO. There is somebody that needs to be pulling out at some point. There's guaranteed. So careful. If you're going to get into it, be careful. Don't put the house payment on it. This is not a coin that's going to continue pumping upwards today parabolically. Look at the fucking chart. You know, you might see a cup and handle. If you're an expert, you might see that as a cup and handle and it's going to go up, but it's not a guarantee. Don't throw your fucking house into it, man. It's in the name. Luna Bear. Oh, you're going to learn about the truth, something like that. I don't know what you said, but I'm going to read it. You're going to learn about trusts, and you're going to get what the government owes you in control over your own real estate, and you're going to have tons of dollars to immediately get out of dollars. Yeah. All right, let me read the comments said before that, because there's a lot of comments. Okay. So the Federal Reserve Bank Trust owns the birth certificate names because they are beneficiary names of their Federal Reserve Bank Trust. Interesting. But their trust doesn't even pay us anything. It's funny. It's like, it's not really a trust, is it? We're kind of just getting fucked over. It was the legal responsibility of the United States and Federal Reserve Bank and Social Security Administration to pay for everything under birth certificate names. So that means that they were going to pay for the services that involve like the collection of our data and everything, the stuff that we pay at the DMV, like that. Why are we paying these fees, right? Interesting. The government has all of our estates under their guardianship, and we can see the right lawyers to help us change our legal statuses to get control over our estates into our own hands. That was hard to swallow, so I'm not going to respond to that, but that was kind of difficult for me to wrap my head around. The same organization that prints the dollars and caused the hardship for inflation for us. Well, if people were honest, inflation is a planned event, even from the layman's perspective. Like, in order to sell your products to somebody and to create trade with somebody, they need to be holding the same currency that you're making trade in. That's why we exported our dollars. So inflation was not a bad thing, and it was a planned event. If people were informed of this, then they would make decisions, smarter decisions. They would also advocate for a raise in the minimum wage, of course, but they would understand that it's only because inflation is a planned event. It's not because you deserve more for what you do. It's that, you know, there's a certain level to where, you know, you're paying somebody $1 an hour, they're never going to be able to afford anything. And that would be just, you know, terrible in our economy, but it's based on the actual health of our economy, whether or not that price goes up. You know what I'm saying? For labor. The same organization. Okay, let's see. Let me read the rest of that too. Damn it. This thing just wants to not load. Load. Come on. You're going to get into learning about trust structures to avoid capital gains tax. I feel like just being in early and holding for a year is how you avoid the capital gains tax. It's the same thing that I was saying yesterday. I think this is a theory of mine. I haven't confirmed it quite yet, but it looks like to me, based on the activity that I've seen in these tokens, rich people, they leave behind like $5 in a token, and they'll come back a year from now, and if they earn $1 on that $5, they're not paying that capital gain, so they're automatically earning like 12%. So they, you know what I mean? Like they're paying 12% less just by waiting a year. And if they do that hundreds of times, then, you know, you end up becoming billionaire status. The millionaires, they're the ones who are cashing out after it pumps. The billionaires don't cash out until a year. They don't give a fuck if it pumps. Because they're looking for control. They don't care if, you know, a token goes 100x. They're not pulling out the $100. They don't give a fuck. That's a billionaire. That's how they got that much control. They stayed in it. They got in early and they stayed in it. That's the kind of strategy that I think about. I end up doing is just having $1 into everything and basically just letting it sit for a while, you know. But that's when I actually commit to that strategy, because I haven't fully committed. Damn. Okay, Luna Bear going 89,000. Look at that. So it's recovering. People might get their money back. That's good, but that's what I mean. Like, I expect people to be dumping it at some point. So if you guys are looking at Luna Bear, careful at like 120,000. That's like probably the peak maximum before you're going to see another massive spike downwards. Okay? And you're going to see that spike downwards probably to the level where we're at right now. So throwing $1 at it right now and you're worried about losing $1 on it, like, now is probably the best time. Because you're going to see it go up, probably drop down. If it does go up to 120K, pull out 40 cents. Play the game. Then, once it drops back down, throw that 40 cents back in. And then you got a bigger chunk of that pie. So wait for it to go up 40%, pull out the 40%, take that earnings, and wait for it to dip down 40%, and then get back in it. People will cheer that on. You know why? Because you're supporting the token more. Nobody like should be caring if somebody else gets a profit. That's the whole point of this space, is that somebody gets the profit, but somebody else drops their bag. It's normal. All we need to do is find the right... I'll read that in a second. All we need to do is find the right lawyers who already have a record of success. Lawsuits against the Federal Reserve Bank Trust that awarded large settlements to living trust names. This is from Ben, by the way. Now, well, that's the thing, is that I'm not 100% into that side of the space, but this is good kind of precognition. I'll start thinking about this kind of stuff, but I'm not really in that zone yet. I'm not in the same room as you basically right now. But I will be looking into this, like, sort of. Like, I'll let my mind wander to there. That's how I learn things. I let my mind wander. People think it's like ADHD. No, it's me letting my mind wander and wonder about the things that maybe other people aren't wondering, or just the stuff that I don't understand yet. That's how I learn. That's how I see things that other people don't see, is because I'm allowing myself to see into the shadows. I can, you know, I'm looking at stuff people don't notice. Why am I looking at the shadows? Well, because I know that there could be a little gremlin in those shadows, and I want to make sure that, you know, I don't got to deal with their asses. The government was supposed to help us get rich, not keep us unpaid indentured servitude to a trust they own. And that's the thing, is it got perverted. The system was to make us rich, and it actually did help us a lot. You saw what happened. So at first it reset everything, and then we ended up having a war, and we became the world power. We still succeeded. And we're just where we're at now. It's about trust law. You're going to have to learn about it. That's where all this leads anyway. Okay, I'll check it out. Like, if that has anything to do with the bond market, or if it has anything to do with yield on bonds, then, like, that's a space that I'm getting into soon. I am looking at perpetuals, and that's where I just dipped my toes into watching the perpetuals on CashCat. And I'm like, Oh, okay. I've seen this in other places, the prediction market kind of thing. I've seen this on other places. I've played these kinds of ups and downs, but I haven't invested into those ups and downs. Like I threw $1 at one. You know what I'm saying? So I have, and I've also played the fun ones, just, you know, with no actual money. So I've played around with these perpetual markets and I've seen them. It's just, that's the next stage when you look at finance. I've already been calling it though. What I said was that prediction markets are going to take all of that casino money and grab it. So Kalshi, you know, OG Bet, all these things, they're gonna take over the market around, you know, investments at the end of the day. Why go around and trade gold and trade, you know, tokens and, you know, build a business when you can just predict whether or not that business will do well or not? And then you got plenty of time for the rest of the day. You don't even have to do a trade. You don't even have to do anything complicated. You don't have to set limits. You don't have to do any of that shit. Prediction markets are going to take over. Give me 1 second here. I don't think you are understanding everything you ever paid under birth certificate names has to be refunded to you. Oh, you don't own anything under those names in all capital letters. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I've kind of seen that into that side of things. There's one guy who's talked about maritime law and all that. I've listened to those guys talking, so I'm kind of like familiar with what you're talking about. I just haven't dug deep into it. I haven't deep dived into that subject yet, which you only deep dive into that subject when you have money to actually be in that space. So, and no offense to those who are in that space and have the money. I'm not saying, oh, how dare you, you know, oh, you know more than me because you're more rich. It's that just simply, I'm just not in that space quite yet. And I may never even be in that space. So I'll have to look at it from a perspective of interest rather than a perspective of investment. But yeah, I think I got my head wrapped around this meme market thing because like I'm paying attention to these charts and I'm impressed. Look at the Luna Bear chart. I'm gonna go back to it 1 second. Jump on Pump Fun. Go look at Luna Bear. Let's take a look at that fucking crazy chart. It's insane, dude. Like it goes into the sky, goes because of the FOMO at that point. It's not because it's a dead token. It's not because it's a fucked with token. It's that somebody had seen it, others saw it, they all FOMO'd into it, and then it dropped back down. People didn't hold, people panic sold, and then you see the level that we're at now. But the level that we're at now is on a pump after a dump. So it had already dumped, and now it's on a pump. So there's potential that it keeps going up. Just be ready for those people who were in at 180,000 that jumped in FOMO'd at 180,000. They're going to sell. So be prepared for when it hits about 120,000, 150,000. Everybody's going to want to be pulling back their profits or pulling back what they originally put in. But that's how I'm reading these charts. You got to see, you know, you got to understand emotion. You got to understand that these are humans trading. And that's when you make your move. So when you actually understand it. There's too many people that are not informed enough about this space. And that's what I'm trying to do is like just bring, you know, awareness to people. So I'm going to throw 12 cents at Luna Bear because it fell below my dollar cost average. So it's at 88 cents from the dollar and I just basically fill the rest of that dollar. And it's easy for me to visualize what it's actually doing. If it dips from, like I have $3 into it after this. I'll have filled out the rest to $3 in Luna Bear. And if it drops underneath $3, I'm not going to jump back into it, but I understand what the chart's doing without having to pay attention to the actual lines. You see what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying now? So I'm not really paying attention to the lines per se, but I am checking back to the lines and to see where we're at compared to the history of the movements. But I already know what those movements are because I've been paying attention to the cold hard price. So now look, somebody dumped. Yeah, that's what I thought. Somebody was going to end up dumping like that. And you know, that's why you don't throw in your whole fucking bag, dude. That's why I threw in 12 cents. You know, a little dip like that doesn't mean you go throw 50 in. You know what I mean? You can only do that if you've been watching that chart for a while and you know what it may do. So right now I'm just letting everything sit. listen, I don't have time to do all that stuff, dude. It takes years to get involved with that shit. I can make $30 a day doing DoorDash and then throw it into a savings account, and then maybe in 10 years I'll have fucking $50 extra to spare. But for right now, I have to fuck with this meme shit, dude. I understand. I appreciate your, help. But that's not going to help me. The trust stuff isn't going to help me. I'm already fucked. $150 could change my life. I need to make that $150. When I say $30 a day, that's maximum. That's the max I'm going to be able to make. It's a fluke if I end up getting 45, which I ended up doing one day last week. I'm working with tiny amounts of funds. I gotta learn this market, and I gotta make money through this market. There's no other fucking way. I need to see the moon. So, oh, look at Luna Bear. Boom. So it's still, yeah, see, it's recovering. People see it, and they're like, bro, somebody just popped out. I'm in. That's what ends up happening. It was down to 69K, now it's up to 73K. And this is going to do this for a little bit until it levels out. It's recalibrating. And I'm trying to teach anybody who, yeah, it's dumping again. See that shit? It dumped again, and that was normal. We're at 60K again. So it dumped another 10K. People are getting rid of their little bags. It's not time to panic sell. And if you only got in for $1, you wouldn't be panic selling. That's the other side of this, is that people, they throw in 10, 15, $20 into the token, and then they panic sell. It's like, don't put that much into a token. Put $1 in it. If you put $1 in it and you weren't risking very much, then you wouldn't be panic selling. You know what I mean? Like, get in small, support the fucking token, dollar cost average in, have fun with it. It's called pump fun for a reason. We're supposed to have some fun with it, man. Big smiles. But the stupidity of people is insane. To have witnessed somebody dump 8,000 after it fucking went almost 3x in seconds. This person didn't check the chart and didn't see it as a potential, whoop, it's going back down. Now, that's because they were uninformed. The person's like, this is my first time. I'm like, bro, is this really your first time? Oh, you threw $8,000 and it's your first time. What the fuck, bro? That's a house payment. That's insanity. He verifiably did it. And it's no fault, I understand. I'm not hating on the guy who did what he did, but man, never throw a house payment on it. Understand the market before you get in it. You throw that $8,000 in there, there's almost a guarantee that thing's gonna go pew, crash, because everybody's gonna pull out. There's bots that have limit orders. Like, if you're new to the space, in the crypto space, there's people behind the scenes using bot accounts. Yes, you can win against the bots. I will in a second. I'll reread in a second. You can win against the bots. You just got to know what the hell people's sentiment is. You got to know, and you got to know how many real people are in it. So you got to look for natural trades on top of the bot trades. So, and sometimes, it's easy. If you look into the Photon app within Phantom, it'll show you whether or not a token is actually botted through Photon. So it'll show you that. It'll show you who the holders are. If they have a little robot face next to it, that means that they're a bot and that they've set orders on Phantom. So that's another way to check the coins. You have to use tools on top of everything. I'm not even using tools, and I'm able to figure this shit out because I know where to find the data and I know what data I'm looking for. That's why I'm able to spot this shit, is because I have been using the tools, and I don't even have to use the tools anymore to understand the risk and understand where a token might be sitting. Right now, this has got 65% sitting in the top 10 people's hands. So yeah, I understand what you're saying. It's long, but that sounds like long-term stuff, and I'll look into it at some point. I might change my sentiment about it, but for now, I'm playing on the meme coin market. $150 could change my life. And I guarantee in the next, week or so, I'm going to hit that $150. I'm not looking for $1,000. I'm not looking for $50,000. I'm looking for maybe a couple $100, go out, make some more money. And maybe I'll take a little bit of that money, jump back in the meme market with a couple of bucks. But you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm keeping it small. If I see a parabolic 100x, I'm pulling that shit out. I'm putting it on a fucking bike. And I'll be making enough money on 2 batteries, switching them out, cycling them, able to work all day rather than just fucking small little periods of time throughout the day. It sucks what I'm dealing with right now. You know, I'm sitting in a parking lot standing for an hour and a half, and I can't even stand for that long. And, oh my God, like right now, my back's all twisted up. It's like I gotta separate the damn thing. It's a herniated disc. Herniated disc on top of a bad knee. It's a torn meniscus or meningus. I thought I read it as meningus. But then somebody else said meniscus, and I was like, but on the paper it says meningus. Menignus or something. Hey, kitty. What's up, storm kitty? I'm trying to get out of the storm, huh? Little kitty. Let's see my favorite cat right here. The only cat I really ever liked, to be honest. Wow, look at this person, dude. Like, they're like, oh, Ben, you're losing. Like, get the fuck out of here. Dude, I'm fucking blocking your ass. Get off my fucking channel, you ass. How dare you? You don't attack my fucking audience. Go. Rick Miller. Whoever the fuck you are. Sorry, you gotta go. You know, it's like, oh, why you're gonna smoke it up? What do you mean I'm gonna smoke it up, bro? I said permanently. I do not have the necessary permissions. What? I gotta go to actual YouTube to do this. 1 second. Oh, fucker. Hey, you might want to delete your comment before I fucking completely ban your ass. Okay, here we go. Guy was just trying to pick a fight. Okay, yeah, he got hidden. That's great. It shows up differently in the actual app. So I'll read what you said here. Listen, man, this trust stuff is the solution to your financial problems. Well, that's long term. That's when I actually have an income. If I can get this other battery, if I can actually get this other bike going, then I have an income, and then I can do this, you know, responsible, long term, that kind of thing. What I need to do is, you know, take my time into the meme market and, you know, bang 150 and then get my bike fixed, and then fucking everything works out from there. You know, I was making so much money, you know, I was making a regular wage while I had the other bike. Why? Because it could make 100 miles. This bike it's actually losing range. It's got maybe about 17 meaningful miles on it, and then maybe about, you know, if I go really slow, barely use my battery, I'll be able to get back, you know, from 7 miles away. So I have to make sure that I'm within like maybe 7 miles away from the house before I go out and do an order. I have to calculate this shit within seconds before I accept an order. I have to calculate how much battery do I actually have remaining, how quick can I get to this store and use how much of my battery and get there in a certain amount of time. How can I do that in seconds? I only have like up to a minute, sometimes only 30 seconds to decide whether or not I'm going to take an order. And I have to be like, if I'm sitting in this room and I'm doing it, because, you know, I don't want to be standing out there in a parking lot. If I'm sitting in this room and doing it, then I have to get everything ready. I got to be ready and out the fucking door within about 15 seconds, like a fireman. So that's my life right now. I'd be quite well with a vehicle. Now, here's the thing though. I might be in a vehicle soon. Listen, I might be in a vehicle soon. Watch this. I don't know. Okay, look. What's that for? It's for a car tire. Why do we have this? Because I'm going to start working on a vehicle. And if I could fix this vehicle, which will require me to drive around, then I'll be in a vehicle. You guys will be seeing me live stream in a vehicle perhaps soon. So that's good news. After all that chaos the other night, like, this was the plan. I was supposed to work on a vehicle and get it running, and then, you know, make the money, be able to pay for the insurance, pay for all the stuff on it, and there we go. I got a running vehicle. So, you know, and I can responsibly go and make money in a vehicle rather than on my fucking bike. So I might be coming out of the trenches very soon, regardless of what happens. And everybody's going to be fucking pissed when I'm on my live and I'm driving around. I'm like, woo! I got the fucking music blast and my own music. Copyright, non-copyright shit. Watch this shit, man. You're going to see things change, dude. If I can get the tools, I can make so much money, dude. I made $4,000 a month doing DoorDash. I was making more than I was at my regular job because I was limited to only, you know, a couple hours at a fucking time before my skin broke out when I was working, you know? I can go 16 hours in a vehicle, especially if I got AC, straight. I am a driver. I am a mover. I can move shit. That's my specialty. So I'll look into your comment in just a second. Believe me, I like to think about these things. It's just that I'm not in the same room as that, you know, topic right now. Like, I'm talking about the meme market. I'm talking about other stuff. So I appreciate the conversation too, for sure. I'm not saying stop talking. You might be able to teach a few people in my chat how it all works and teach them something that I don't exactly know about. Does roach killer also work, or, you know, little bug killer? Does that work on bees? Because there's a bee's nest that I want to get rid of. Maybe there's like a flying insect type over here. This flying insect. Ow. Ant. Spider killer. Does spider killer work on bees? I could try it. Watch out, kitty. He's so cool. There's a bee's nest in the back here. I want to make sure I don't want to get fucking stung, man. I don't like bees. Oh. It's just a tiny nest, I think. Yeah, it's just a tiny nest. I'll just smush it. If you knock the nest off, then they go away too. No poison. I don't like the idea of poisons either, but I'm like, I don't want to, if that thing was a big nest, I didn't want to, like, fuck around with it, because I can't afford to get stung right now. Why? What's wrong with using that? But I'll just take a bat to it. Slam! No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, the reason why I haven't even worked on the vehicle yet is because I haven't been able to drive it around. I can't tell specifically what it is. It might have something to do with the crank, but it may not. Damn, I need something longer. I tried to get close and the fucking things just like started attacking me. These things are smart. The bat wasn't long enough. If I could take out this this nest, I might throw the fix-a-flat in it now and might start to give it a shot. You know, I can work on vehicles now that after I've you know, taken my time with them. Watch out, kitty. Shh. Whoa, was that a queen? That was a huge fucking bee, dude. I saw a black bee. Is there a fucking queen in there? No wonder they're really, really, really hardcore protective. Like, that nest is more active than they usually are. I don't like bees. I look like a pussy right now, but I don't like fucking bees. I don't want to get stung. But I want to show, you know, I want to show you guys me sitting in a vehicle so you guys can understand. Watch out, kitty. Hey, Bartholomew, you're sitting right underneath the freaking nest. Watch out. Watch out. There we go. So once you knock the nest off and they don't see the nest anymore, that's usually when you're safe. But just give it like 2 minutes. I'll come back to it in just a second, but let me go sit in this vehicle here. Okay. So you guys might see me sitting in this at some point. See? And you might be seeing me confidently driving this thing and having fixed it. Right now, it's not in good condition. But if I can get into a vehicle again, that's, dude, I'm be working fucking 14, 16 hours. I'll be live streaming it too. I'll be like, y'all be like, what the fuck just happened? This dude just came out of the trenches. Should I make it look like I won it in the meme market or something? Should I grift my audience? Be like, bro, I fucking hit it hard on a meme. Look at this shit. Get everybody pissed off and everybody FOMOing into the market. Just imagine that shit. I could play it off because I have because I've done so many trades in and out of things, there's like a couple $1,000 that of actual trade volume that I've done. In reality, it's only about $500 or maybe $200 worth that I've been actually trading around total. You know, because I've pulled profits, I've spent some, but not very much. I've been just pulling in and out of tokens, losing money, gaining money, losing that money again, gaining that money again. But it shows up on my Phantom account. That's why I don't want to show people my Phantom account. I got 50 fucking follows right now, maybe even more than that. And I haven't checked in like 24 hours. But I don't want to show everybody my trading activity quite yet. But if you guys get in early, like if you're chilling with me right now and I get into a better spot and let's say I fucking make it, you don't understand how generous I would be to the people that were a part of that journey along with me. Now, give me a quick second. I'm gonna do a little raking here just to clean up in the front because I don't like how it looks. And it's gonna rain. Normally you don't do this, but because I know how to do it because I've been doing landscape work for so long, I know how to do it without destroying the rake. Normally you don't want to do this. If you're not experienced with landscape work, because you end up ruining the integrity of the rake over time. See how I basically picked it up? That's how you have to like rake it if you're gonna go at concrete. You're gonna use the wind more than you're actually pulling it with the rake. You know what? I'll do a quick blow. You know what? Before I do the blow, I gotta. This is just protocol. Hear me? Or what you're talking, you're gonna get into a better spot. Term like that. There are. Hey, I'm not like deep in debt, but there's still some debts that I in here. But I'm gonna read those comments because I am curious and I want to see what you're saying. I wanted to complete my thoughts first. For anyone else that's watching, this is the kind of conversation that I want in my comments. This is exactly what I want because this teaches people what they need to know rather than just trolling and stuff like that. I don't need trolls here, dude. I need people that actually want to learn things. I'm gonna turn the sound off because it's gonna be loud for a second. Oh, I was muted. I just noticed that. Y'all could have told me. I forgot about it because I was doing the... I muted it because I was doing the blowing around. But yeah, you never know what might happen in the near future. Just always keep your head up. This life is such a miracle to begin with. Just be happy with what you got. I'm mad that people aren't happy with what they got. That's why I freak out, because I'm sitting here looking at billionaires and millionaires, or not billionaires, but just millionaires being fucking angry and shit. And I'm like, bro, you have everything that you need. You know, if you helped people for once, you would be able to get the happiness that you're looking for. You know, I'm just out there in chats, just pumping up shit, trying to, you know, give good feeling out there. And look at what it's worth to me. I got people that want to fucking follow me, that want to hang out with me, that want to talk to me. Because, you know, you're being decent to people. And then you got the trolls that are running around like, oh, we don't want that person to gain any popularity because that person's decent. You know, that's how you have to see that stuff. Yeah, the mute was deliberate while I was using the blower, but my brain's in fucking 15,000 different places, so I end up forgetting those little tiny details sometimes as, you know, moments go on. So nobody's perfect. But I think that really what I just said really... really just explains it, really lays it out perfectly. Just re-upping on the coffee without making any new coffee. And drink some old coffee. Yeah, I'm back. We all did for them in their trust, and they were supposed to be paying us for it. Yeah. Nothing's fair in this world, it seems, because you got trolls everywhere. You know, if you didn't have so many trolls, so many people that are trying to cause issues, if you can confirm that their intent is to cause an issue rather than just being helpful, maybe they fuck up sometimes when they're trying to be helpful, then those people need to be held accountable. Because, you know, imagine it. All of the trolls that jump into those chats, let's say, in this case, when I'm talking about meme coins and stupidity, you know, around people's choices and stuff, you got trolls making it hard for people to think. So they make panic, they make emotional actions, they take action, and they're more likely to take an action. It's like aggravating somebody to make a decision. And that's what's been going on. It doesn't matter, you know, we all get on board with something. If these fucking trolls still exist, they go out and call it out as a scam no matter what. We need to take care of the fucking trolls. If we get into a good spot and we got a bunch of, you know, people who mean to do harm to us in that group, that's an automatic issue. You know, you got some bad people that take way too much power, and that's really the problem above all the problems, is that you have the wrong people in power, the people that don't want to actually make good change. It doesn't matter if we all make the right decisions, somebody else is going to capitalize on it no matter what, as long as that person is in the space. Yeah, we gotta get rid of the fucking trolls, and I think, and this is where you will disagree, mass surveillance is the only way to actually do it. There's no other way, but it's also the fact that that's kind of where we're headed anyways. So I'm not saying cheer on mass surveillance. All I'm saying is that it's coming, prepare for it, and just act normal. Just be yourselves. Stop using VPNs, stop hiding your shit, only do things to protect yourself rather than to obfuscate your information. You know, if you're a follower of God, you will hold on to your data as it was, hold on to your identity as it was, and not try to hide the truth. So what's already been out there, don't try to obfuscate the data. You know, imagine if you go incognito or whatever, and all these, hey, we'll protect your identity kind of platforms. You give them your identity and you tell them where you're connected to, and now they have that data. How can they confirm that this is the data you want to pull out unless, you know, how do you confirm unless you have that data? So they've collected the data. Their systems still vulnerable. So you're never going to escape data collection and exposure. You just got to protect your identity and who you are, and that just will naturally work itself out. But I got to go do a few things, and I identify ourselves with these trust names of the Federal Reserve. I will have to visit this topic, and when I do a new live stream, I'll end up having something to talk about. So I'll wait until I see you in the chat, and then maybe I'll bring up this topic after I do a little bit of studying. But what you did was you instilled you passed along information, and now you instilled a interest towards this. So I will be checking it out. But I gotta go, big time. I gotta eat. I already showered, yeah. I gotta do a few things, but I appreciate you guys joining. I appreciate the likes. I appreciate the engagement. Check me out on Pump Fun at Godfinger. Like I said, if you guys do throw anything in there, throw what you expect to lose, just in case I have to pull out. But if I do pull out, it's only temporary because I want to continue grabbing that token. I'm a poor person. If I pull out, it's because of an emergency, not because I'm fucking with the price. I promise. But I'll talk to you guys soon. I know. I'll have to look into it. I feel like I grabbed the whole gist. You got to understand, I have a different way of learning where, what you did was you instilled interest. I have to understand what you're saying before I can even give a comment. So I'll read all of it. I already read about 70% of it, if not 75% of it. So I'll talk to you guys soon. No, I gotta go, dude. I don't want to tell you what I have to. I gotta go. But I appreciate it. I'll talk to you guys soon, and I'll probably be on a random, if I see these coins pumping, I might be on a stream in in an hour or something. So you never know, man. Let me look up. I'm trying to swipe the thing too, and it won't let me swipe. I've been trying to swipe. Oh, there we go. They don't come on TV and tell everyone. They can file these legal claims and immediately get control of your own estates and with tons of money. I gotta read this quick. They ignored their fiduciary duties to pay living stewards. I read that, yeah. And basically, they demeaned us to nothing. They decided that we're not really humans, we're just identities. I think that's what you're saying, and because they held, $50,000 per new person born, they hold $50,000 extra in loans because of the human that was born every time. So technically, they owe us $50,000 from the day that we're born. So every new person adds another loan to the government, $50,000. That's what I was told a while ago. But I gotta go, guys. I'll be back soon. I appreciate it. And sorry I didn't get through all the comments. I really have to go. So I'll be back soon.